Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So I'm going to be giving you Manchester United's strongest lineup. So, David De Gea in goal. I did say, didn't I, that David De Gea is obviously going to remain our number one this season. I've been impressed with David De Gea this season. I think he's made some very, very good saves in quite a few games. There's obviously been a couple of games where he hasn't really had much to do. You know, this is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. You know, David De Gea has made over 400 appearances for the football club in all competitions. He's made over 300 appearances in the Premier League. And he's won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards reflecting on his good performances over the years. You know, I've been critical of David De Gea a lot before, because in the last couple of years he has made calamitous mistakes. I think he's had at least those 7 good years at Manchester United. It was only last September he signed a 4-year contract worth £350,000 a week. So at the moment he's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he's the highest paid at the football club. When De Gea does leave Manchester United, he will go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his family's from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain. He began his footballing career in Spain, and back in 2015 he was very, very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. Did it? And we paid, was it just over £18 million for him from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. At right back, Wan-Bissaka. Been very, very impressed with him recently. You know, he showed some good attacking intent. I think his defensive contribution's been very, very good. He's put some very, very good crosses as well into the box. Don't forget, Wan-Bissaka scored his first goal for the football club in the 4-1 win against Newcastle, and that game against Newcastle was his 50th appearance for Manchester United. This is Wan-Bissaka's 2nd season at the club. He's definitely the foreseeable future for Man United. You know, last season was his 1st season at the club. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. Now, the 2 centre-halves, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Now, I've said, haven't I, time and time again, that I've got element of concerns about Victor Lindelof because he's nowhere near on the same level as Harry Maguire. And Lindelof's enjoyed quite a lot of bad games as a Man United player. But there again, you know, he's enjoyed some good games as a Man United player. I think we'll keep Victor Lindelof for at least this season. You know, Lindelof has enjoyed over 3 years now at the football club. We paid £31 million for him from Benfica back in 2017, Victor Lindelof. Now, Harry Maguire, I've been very, very impressed with him recently. Good to see him bounce back from his early season troubles, because he did have early season troubles because he had that incident in Greece before the season started. He had a few knocks. He also got sent off in England's 1-0 defeat to Denmark. You know, he was asked prior to the RB Leipzig game in a press conference, Maguire, about his form, his leadership and the impact of the summer. And he said, you know, it's not letting it affect him. You know, he's just focusing on his football. Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, because we got him in a deal worth £80 million, and he's our current captain. Left back, Alex Telles. I think Alex Telles is going to be a very, very good signing for Manchester United. The main explanation why he hasn't been playing is because he had COVID-19 not so long ago. Then Alex Telles obviously had to get another test. Obviously, it had to be negative, and obviously it was negative. Alex Telles did play in our game against PSG. That was his debut for the club. And he was very, very good in that game, so we expect to see a lot from him. We got Alex Telles in a deal worth 15 million euros with add-ons included, and Telles signed a 4-year contract with the club with an option of a further year. Now, in the mid, the two midfielders, Fred and McTominay. I've got to say, I've been very, very impressed with Fred recently. You know, I like the way he's dictated the play. He's also showed some good attacking intent. He's passed the ball well. Fred's really, really improved. You know, he's not a world-class midfielder. I thought he was absolutely exceptional in Ukraine at Shakhtar Donetsk and that. Fred did endure a difficult time under Mourinho, but Fred never really got his opportunities under Mourinho, did he? I've certainly got to say he's confounded his critics wrong. Fred was good against Everton. He didn't play against Besiktas. He was poor against Arsenal because he lost the ball far too many times. You know, we paid big money for Fred. We paid £52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. And Fred's got a contract of us till 2023. And as for McTominay, I've got element of concerns about him. Like I've said, he's had some good games at Man United, but he's also had some bad games. He's not as good as Fred, but McTominay can play well on the day. Sometimes he can show some good attacking intent. His hold-up play at times can also be very, very good. Just after the first lockdown, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with the club, so he did commit his long-term future with Man United. Ahead of them two, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is definitely Manchester United's best player. He's one of the best signings we've probably made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Now, Bruno Fernandes has endured around 9 months at the football club. You know, the vast majority of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Last season, he won Premier League Player of the Month twice. He won it for February and he also won it for June. And he won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award. We paid £47 million for Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. He hasn't been happy with Solsjaer, don't forget, recently. He was very infuriated with Mason Greenwood, reflects on his poor training session. That was last Friday. So, yeah. But he has definitely made the difference in the team, Bruno Fernandes. On the right-hand side, Donny van de Beek. Now, Donny van de Beek needs to be getting starts at Manchester United. Donny van de Beek has not yet made his full Premier League debut for the football club. But he has started our last 2 games in the Champions League, Donny van de Beek. Let's wait there a second. And when he started against RB Leipzig, he was in that number 10 role. But you can also put Donny van de Beek out wide. But when he was at Ajax, he was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. Now, Donny van de Beek recently revealed what Solsjaer had told him. And Solskjaer's told him to be patient and wait for his opportunities. And Donny van de Beek made an admission regarding his playing time, saying that he would have loved to have played more at Manchester United this season. But I'm sure his opportunities will come. Recently scored a very, very good goal for Holland in their 1-1 draw with Spain. We paid £40 million for Donny van de Beek. You know, he signed a 5-year contract with the club with an option of a further year, and he currently wears that number 34 shirt. Now, on the left-hand side, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is definitely one of our best players. He's been very, very good this season. There's been a couple of games where he hasn't been at his best and he's looked off the pace, and in some games he hasn't really had a lot of service in that. But in the vast majority of his games, he's done well. Rashford was very, very good against Everton. He was also very, very good against RB Leipzig. Scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. Scored late on against PSG. And he scored a few goals in the league this season. Not so long ago, Rashford turned 23. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's 23 now. He's been at United since the age of 7. So he's been with us over 15 years. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. We usually play Rashford out wide now. I think he's more effective out wide than he is centrally, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And up top, Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial has struggled this season. He's failed to replicate what he did last season, because I thought last season Anthony Martial was very, very good under Ollie. He was also very, very good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. But don't forget, Antonio Martial had a 3-match suspension in the league because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat. He got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. In reality, though, he shouldn't have been sent off. But anyway, he served that 3-game suspension. So, yeah, I think that's Manchester United's strongest lineup. But by the way, there's a few Manchester United fans that are saying Anthony Martial should be dropped and we should be starting Edison Cavani ahead of him. Don't forget, Edison Cavani recently scored his first goal for Man United in the 3-1 win against Everton. And Edison Cavani also came on against Chelsea and he almost scored with his first touch. We got Edison Cavani on a 3 transfer, didn't we? And he signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around 220 grand a week. And obviously he wears that number 7. So that is the latest on that. Now, I want to delve into some news on Facundo Pellistri. So, Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is facing a dilemma with new signing Facundo Pellistri. Solskjaer promised him first team opportunities when he signed for the club. Now, Solskjaer has broken his promise because Facundo Pellistri has not yet made his debut for the first team. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that Facundo Pellistri needs to spend more time in the reserves. Now, Facundo Pellistri made his debut for the under-23s the other month against Everton. Manchester United won that game by 2-1. But Facundo Pellistri was part of the squad in the game against PSG in the Champions League group stage, but he didn't play any part. Obviously, we beat PSG by 2-1. We got Facundo Pellistri on deadline day. We paid around £9 million for him from Pennyroyal. And I think Facundo Pellistri signed a 5-year contract with the football club. There's a chance we could loan him out next year. So obviously he can gain more experience. And what will happen with Amad Traore when he comes in January? Will he get straight into the first team? Or will he go in our youth academy before he gets in the first team? We'll have to see what happens, won't we? But we've brought a few academy players in under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Now, you saw my recent video that I did earlier on today. I went through with you the things Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should do to make Manchester United more consistent. And I think he needs to use the right formation. Solskjaer's gone a lot with the 4-2-3-1 formation since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. But I think in a lot of our games, when we've gone with the 4-2-3-1, it hasn't really seemed to suit our standards, has it? In like the big games, Ollie's gone, with the 3-5-2. A few times he's gone with the 4-3-3. I think a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see a diamond, wouldn't they? Like I said, he's got to identify his best players as Ollie. Like I said, he's got to start Donny van der Beek. So there's a few things he has got to do at the football club. Now, we've got a few injuries at the moment. Obviously, Phil Jones is out with injury. He recently had an operation. Lingard's been out of injury, but he's close to returning. But Lingard doesn't regularly get in the team now anyway. Luke Shaw is now out with a hamstring injury. He's out for 4 weeks. Rashford has also had a problem with his shoulder. He said Lindelof had an injury, but I think he's alright now. He actually said before the Everton game that Lindelof had some kind of back problem. He also said before the Everton game David De Gea had a problem with his groin, didn't he? Now, Manchester United are sitting 14th in the Premier League. We're sitting 14th in the Premier League. And we've only registered 10 points from our opening 7 games in the league. And we know that's not good enough from a Manchester United perspective. And we've not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. And it's been our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. Now, Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is under pressure at the football club, despite us recently beating Everton by 3-1. Some of the pressure would have eased off him, reflecting on that win against Everton, but going into that game against Everton, he was under so much pressure, and if we'd have failed to beat Everton, then I think he would have been sacked as Manchester United manager. I really, really do. But it's been up and down this season with Man United, hasn't it? We've had some good results, and we've also had some bad results. The good results were against PSG and RB Leipzig, and good result against Everton recently. The bad results were obviously the 3-1 loss to Palace on the opening day, the 6-1 loss to Tottenham, the 1-0 loss to Arsenal the other week, and the 2-1 loss to Istanbul Başakşehir in the Champions League group stage. After the international break, it'll be interesting to see what Man United do. I think if we can win our next 5 or 6 games after the international break, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won't be under a lot of pressure, will he? Because a lot of pressure will ease off him. But if we are to drop points after the international break, then the pressure will mount up on him. We have got West Brom after the international break, and that's definitely a game that Manchester United should be winning, But I think Solskjaer's set to stay at the football club because Ed Woodward recently made a statement saying that Manchester United remain absolutely committed to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is what Woodward had said. And I've said to you, haven't I, that Solskjaer deserves more backing at Manchester United because I don't think he's been backed enough, and he definitely wasn't backed enough during the summer transfer window because we missed out on all of his priority targets. But none of our managers have been backed enough since the Ferguson era. But we've had problems with the board for several years, haven't we? It's good that we are making plans for next year. We're looking to make more signings next year. Like I've said, I think Man United need around 4 or 5 more signings to win the Premier League title. I think we need a new manager as well. I think we need a new board if we are to compete for the title or win the title. I don't see us winning the title under Ollie, but I hope I am proven wrong. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for 8 years. Now, I think there's a good chance that, Manchester United could win a trophy this season. We won't win the Premier League and we probably won't win the Champions League, but I think there's a good chance we could win the Carabao Cup or we could win the FA Cup. Don't forget, we're into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup and we have got Everton, haven't we? But it's important for us to win a trophy because we haven't won out under Ollie Solsjaer yet and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and I'm hoping that we can get the top 4 this season. So obviously, we can get into the Champions League again. But it'd represent a good season for Man United if we could finish in the top 4 and win a trophy, and then that would obviously give us something to build on. But anyway, yeah, there's been a lot of players on our agenda, like I have been updating you recently. Yesterday, I give you the news on David Carmo from Braga. ESPN said that David Carmo has emerged as a transfer target for Manchester United, because obviously Ollie Solskjaer is in search for a left-sided centre-half. David Carmo is a centre-half, and he currently plays for Braga. He is the age of 21. He only broke into Braga's first team back in January, and since he's appeared in 23 games. He has got a contract until 2025 with Braga, and he's recently been suspended. He's missed, I think, Braga's last 2 games. Said during the summer that Roma and Fiorentina were interested in him, but they didn't put any bids in for the player. So do you think David Carmo would go well alongside Maguire in our back line? And we need to sell either Jones or Rojo anyway if we are to get another centre-half in. Now, Calcio Mercato recently said that Manchester United are interested in Dan Axel Zagadou from Borussia Dortmund. Another centre-half, obviously. He's been at Dortmund for a good 3 years or so now. He's made 60 appearances for Dortmund in all competitions, and he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. He hasn't played for Dortmund yet this season because he has been out with a knee injury. Dortmund got him on a free transfer from PSG back in 2017. Dan Axel Zagadou. Dan Axel Zagadou, sorry. His name can be hard to pronounce. He is just the age of 21. So would you take him at Manchester United? Now obviously Dayot Upamecano is also on our agenda, another centre-half. He's now Liverpool's top target because Liverpool have obviously got Virgil van Dijk out for the season. They've also got Joe Gomez out for the season. So the only centre-half they've got available now is Joe Matip. Deja Lovren, they offloaded him during the summer, Liverpool, didn't they? Dayot Upamecano is available for around £40 million at the end of the season, because that's when his release clause does become active, doesn't it? We could go in for Jack Grealish next year. If we can sell Paul Pogba, then I think there is a place in the team for Jack Grealish. Ousmane Dembele, we could also go in for him next year. I think we could go in for Erling Haaland next year, but it says that Real Madrid want him. It also says that we've been interested in Eduardo Camavinga. Jadon Sancho. Do you think we could go back in for him? He's enjoyed a difficult start to the season with Borussia Dortmund. We've also got to focus on the outgoings next year as well as the incomings, because he's still deadwood at Manchester United. I think next year we'll be obviously looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We'll be looking to get rid of Rojo, Jones. I think we could sell Matic next year because he's lost his place in the team. I think we could also sell Juan Mata. Daniel James, I think he could be going because Daniel James has been out of form for Manchester United. Brandon Williams, we could loan him out because Williams is now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. I think Odin Igalo will go in January when his loan expires. Romero, he'll stay if Dean Henderson goes out on loan, because Romero will be a backup. But if Dean Henderson stays, then I think Romero will leave the club, because obviously at the moment Romero is our third choice goalkeeper, isn't he? We're all expecting as well Paul Pogba to leave the football club. Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga, hasn't he? Didier Deschamps, the France manager, he said that Paul Pogba's been mentally impacted by Solsjaer's decision to keep him on the bench. Pogba's only started 2 of our last 7 games, but Didier Deschamps said recently that, Pogba can't be happy at Man United, for being left on the bench and for playing out of position. We've lowered our asking price for Pogba. It said we will accept £53 million for him. I don't think Pogba was happy when we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Pogba's under contract with the club until 2022, but there has been no talks over a long-term contract. We overpaid for Paul Pogba, we paid £89 million for him. So there you go. Will Ole Solsjaer be still Manchester United manager though by January? No, that is the question. It all depends on what happens after the international break. Now, there has been a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino becoming Manchester United's next manager. I don't think it's going to happen though, because Pochettino said he's not going to wait. Pochettino made it clear on Monday Night Football the other week that he's missing football and he's ready for a return to management. There's been a few clubs in there for him, Man City have been in for him. It says Pochettino was considering the PSG job. It also says that Barcelona have been in for him, Real Madrid, yeah. It said the other week he was in talks with Zenit St. Petersburg. Marca recently said that Pochettino's considering taking the job at Atletico Bilbao. At one point, Newcastle were interested in him. Pochettino has been managerless now for like a year, hasn't he? We've also been looking at Massimiliano Allegri and Julian Nagelsmann as 2 alternatives to him. But yeah, like I said, I think Solskjaer is set to stay. Because we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left. We sacked David Moyes after just 8.5, 9 months in charge. Under the Moyes era, we finished 7th. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. So Ole is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 2nd full season at the club. He's managed over 100 games for Manchester United in all competitions. He has got a contract with the football club until 2022, hasn't he? We appointed Ole in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We did make a mistake by giving him the job permanently, but we give him the job permanently reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have taken positives from his tenure. Like I've already said, he's spent over £200 million since he became Man United manager, and he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club. He's also got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in. I also like the way he's promoted the youth. I credit him for what he did last season. Got us qualification for the Champions League, also got us third and guided us to 3 semi-finals, and last season was his first full season at the club, and our record against the top 6 sides has been pretty impressive since he came in, especially last season. Solsjaer showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. And we've also had some good periods under him. So these positives there really, really is. And you saw my video that I did this morning, and I said, we need to recommend the director of footballing, because that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. And we also need a director of football so Solskjaer can get more backing at the club. It's as simple as that, isn't it? So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.